Mr. Octopus manages an open-end mutual fund. You can get into his fund, but you have to pay. He gives you 4 options: Class A, Class B, Class C, or no load. Regardless of what you choose, you're going to have to pay when you're inside. So if you choose Class A, you pay ahead. With Class A mutual funds, they're also called front-load funds. So you pay a larger amount when you come in the door, but you pay a relatively smaller amount when you're in the fund. And you generally don't have to pay when you leave. With Class B, you pay on the back end. So you avoid paying the upfront fee like Class A. You pay a relatively smaller amount while in the fund, but you may pay a larger fee when you exit the fund. Then you have Class C. With Class C, you pay constantly. So you avoid the upfront fee of the A, the back end fee of the B, but you get charged more while you're in the fund. Then the last option is no load. That's where you avoid the upfront fee of the A, the back end fee of the B, and the higher constant fee of the C. You just pay the lower amount while you're in the fund. So why doesn't everybody just pick no load? Well, some funds simply don't charge a load. Often these funds are where investors purchase directly from the fund company without using like a financial consultant. For funds that do charge a load, many of them have no load classes, and they're kind of like a VIP class. You have to qualify for the no load class. For example, maybe you're investing over $1 million, or you're part of a 401k plan, or you're in a certain type of fee-based account. Only then can you buy the no-load shares. So here's what the different fee structures will look like in a graph. Now it's important to know that Mr. Octopus doesn't keep most of the money you pay him. Most of the money goes to the financial intermediary, who often shares that with the rep or the firm who sold you the fund. For example, if you pay 5% on a front-load Class A fund, Mr. Octopus may keep 1%, and then the financial consultant gets 4%. On top of that, Mr. Octopus is going to keep paying your financial consultant as long as you're in the fund. The ongoing fees to the consultant are called 12b-1 fees. 12b-1 fees are paid from the fund to the financial intermediary. Often they're shared with the firm or the rep who sold the fund to the customer. The maximum 12b-1 fee is 1%, but to be considered a no-load fund, the 12b-1 fee cannot be more than 0.25%. That is testable to know on the SIE. So I'll say it again. The maximum 12b-1 fee for load funds is 1%. The maximum 12b-1 fee for no-load funds is 0.25%. So for every $100 invested, the financial consultant can receive up to $1 for load funds in 12b-1s, or a 12b-1 of a quarter if it's a no-load share. Now I've said 12b-1 9 times, so hopefully it'll stick in your head. So what is a 12b-1? They're ongoing fees charged by open-end funds for marketing and distribution. Typically, they're shared with the financial intermediary and often passed on to the financial consultant. You can also see them called trails or trailers. There's a few more odd things you need to know about mutual fund share classes. For terminology, the different ways to pay are called classes, so Class A, Class B, and so on. But we can also say shares interchangeably, so like A shares, B shares, advisory shares. Fund companies have made all different kinds of share classes. The big part of the fee paid by the investor is called the load. Think about a loaded truck where the fee is paid. For share class terminology, Class A, ahead, is often called front load or front end load funds. Class B, back end, is often called back load or back end load. And Class C, constant, is often called level loads. Now what if I buy a Class C constant load share class because I want to avoid the upfront fee of the Class A, the ahead share class, but then I sell my Class C 6 months later? Maybe that's a good way to skirt the system. Well, many funds will charge what's known as a contingent deferred sales charge, or a CDSC for short. On C shares, this will typically be 1% if you sell within the first year, but it varies by fund. Then Class B back-end shares, they've all but disappeared from the industry. Most fund companies don't even offer Class B shares anymore, but you could still get a question on the SIE about them. Now, typically, the back-end fee to sell is reduced over time, and at some point in the future, could be like 7-8 years, the fee completely goes away. When it comes to suitability, different types of investors will prefer different types of share classes. An investor planning with a long-term horizon could be willing to pay the upfront fee of a Class A. Then they would have more time to benefit from the reduced ongoing fees. An investor who only wants to be in a fund, say less than 5 years, they may want to buy a C, as getting into the fund would be cheaper that way. Now, some fund companies will convert Class B back-end shares and Class C constant load shares to Class A after some period of time. It really depends on the fund, but after say 7 years, they may swap your shares into the cheaper Class A shares. And if you're going to buy Class A front-load funds, there are ways to reduce how much you pay. Now, this is very testable on the SIE, and it can be a bit complicated, so we're going to cover that in the next video here.